show of season 2 of ClearProp TV, PVG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, and paratalk.org. I cannot believe that it's the end of 2021 already. Christmas is come and gone. New Year's is around the corner. And here we are on ClearProp TV talking about how much does it cost to fly. What does it cost to fly a paramotor? And of course, what does it cost to fly in general? We're going to be talking about all that stuff today. My name is Sean Simons. Find me at ppggrandpa.com because I am the grandpa and I do fly and I do teach the sport also. We've had just a student that went through their very first day yesterday and they are just totally tore up. I forget sometimes how exhausting it is to kite and learn a wing for 8 hours or more a day. It's just incredible. But anyways, tonight is all about what does it cost to get into the paramotor sport. We got a bunch of people on the panel that we're going to talk with, and of course everybody in the chat we're going to be chatting with tonight. We're going to start off with Will Fly at willflyppg.com. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Sean, what's going on?
I am so glad you made it here. You have a good Christmas?
I did have a Merry Christmas. I got what I wanted for the most. I got me a Red Ryder BB gun.
Uh-oh, don't shoot your eye out.
Kid, yeah.
Definitely don't want to shoot our eye out. So we're going to be talking about this. And one thing that you are also a general aviations instructor, or was. So you know about that end as far as how much it costs to get into fixed wing GA. And of course, you also are a PPG pilot. So this is going to be really good. Appreciate you being on the show, Will.
Good to be here.
We also have our very own Josh Perry, the guy that made ppgzone.com. What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
What's that?
Good afternoon. I got a crisis going on in the other room, so sorry.
Oh, do you?
The dogs and got into a little argument.
Oh, we didn't hear that.
Good.
You have good noise canceling on that side, apparently.
Doing the earpods.
Well, those are amazing. I flew with those one time, and I was able to talk, and no one could even tell that I was actually flying. Those earbuds are awesome.
Wow.
Hey, so you have a show, or you have a ppgzone.com. Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Facebook. I'm sure you're very familiar with it. But anyway, I can't stand Facebook as a company, as a platform. So I created ppgzone.com to kind of get people off of the Facebook groups and just to kind of build a little private community that's not focused towards anything else but PPG. It's got some features that are relevant to pilots specifically, like the member map. So you can go find other pilots near you. You can just shoot them a private message and say, "Hey, I'm near you. You want to go fly sometime?" Or, "Hey, I'm looking for an LZ." Just you find somebody on the map that's near you, send them a private message, and it's simple as that. You do have to register on the site, provide your email address, basic information, your zip code. So the profile knows where you're at and can place you on the map. I also created win.ppgzone.com, which is pretty much a clone of Ryan Carlton, but I display the data a little bit differently. It shows your winds aloft from the NOAA RAP model, which is a kind of a combination of multiple sources and balloon soundings into one model. So it's been pretty accurate here in Missouri. It's kind of what I use mostly. But yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. It's just a community with features focused towards paramotoring and soon to be classifieds. And we're going to start sending out newsletters here soon. So yeah, that's ppgzone.com in a nutshell.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I truly like about it, like he said, is that there's a interactive map where you can see other pilots. So like me right here in Central Arkansas, I just go there, I look at the member map and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these people that are around me. I send them a message and say, "Hey, you want to go fly?" Sure. So it's a great way of finding people around you that maybe you did not know about. So thank you, Josh Perry, for doing that. And thank you for being on the panel tonight.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
We also have Linda Anderson. She's our ParaMomUSA.com. Where's your pom-pom girl? Woohoo!
Cheerleader.
I love
Awesome.
Monday. So this is our last show till next year.
I know. That's crazy talk.
Yes. So I had a super duper Christmas and Christmas Eve. I'm very blessed. And I'm very blessed to be here with you guys tonight. I was excited just, for all of us to hang out and learn some new info and everything. And welcome Josh hanging with us tonight. We appreciate it. And all
glad to be here.
chatters. I don't know what chatters are on, but I'm going to say hi. And yeah, this is great. I love you guys.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show, Linda. Of course, if you want to be on the show, just get up with Linda Anderson. You can find her by going to paramomusa.com. That forwards to her Facebook page. And that way you can hit that little notification or that, what am I thinking of? Not notification, message, right? Message her and say, hey, I want to be on the show. And she'll get you on the show. So thank you very much, Linda Anderson. We also have the most famous person of all that's only going to be able to hang with us for about half an hour. So we got to get with him and talk with him real quick. Brian Haybale Waller.
What's going on, everybody? Pleasure to be here as usual. And Josh, thanks for all you're doing with the websites and everything, man. That's good stuff for sure. Good to have you on tonight too.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I got a good flight in yesterday. My family is here, so I was able to buzz around and show off my newfound skill sets of flying paramotor. I say newfound. It still feels new to me. I've been doing it for 2 years now.
Right.
And 2 years ago on Christmas 2019, I got my first flight at home. And I've just been totally addicted ever since. It's the most fun that you can have. I don't know. I can't say the whole quote on the show.
I agree with you. It's definitely absolutely amazing. You had a good Christmas too, I assume?
Absolutely. Got to see some family. For the most part, it was really good. We did have a loss in the family, so prayers going out for that side of the family for sure. But other than that, we've got some good family here visiting. We're having some good times and whatnot, man. We're truly blessed, and we could have some better weather. I'm not going to lie about that for flying. It's been a little bit of windy. The last couple mornings, it's been like 25-mile-an-hour winds at 1,000 feet. That's just no fun. But other than that, I've got no complaints. Life is good.
Oh, very good. Glad that you're here. We appreciate you. And we definitely appreciate everyone that is on the chat. So let's go ahead and say hello to the people that are on the chat. Josh Perry's in the chat too. That's awesome. John Wayne, PPG, The Other Neck, Bill H, Brian Waller, Will Fly, Deweese Milstead, what's up? Nick Griffith, yo. John Wayne, lots of people talking. Did I miss anybody? What is that?
Ants?
Looks like somebody from Russia. I can't tell. I don't know the name. I'm sorry.
Spammer.
I hope it's just somebody that loves us and is just hanging out with us. So welcome. Randy Milstead is in the house also. Did I say hello to everybody so far? Bill H. I think I got everybody.
Give a special shout out to Deweese. She sent me a little package in the mail today, and it was a little awesome gremlin bell, and it's now on my paramotor, sitting on the pocket. So thank you, Deweese.
Yeah, I'd like to give her a shout out too. She sent me some awesome fig preserve. I don't know if you've ever had that before. And I didn't think I would like fig preserves, but man, it is out of this world.
Lots of sugar. They're good.
Yeah. Thank you, Deweese.
Deweese is the bomb. So another shout out to Deweese, just because you're awesome. Tonight's show is all about how much does it cost to get into paramotoring, or just in general, what does it cost to fly? And because we did touch on it last week, maybe Will can talk about it just for a brief period right now. Will, you are or were a GA instructor also, is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm still a flight instructor.
You are still a flight instructor? Okay. And in general, how much does it cost to get into flying like fixed wings under general aviation?
I mean, it depends on what school you go to, of course, and you can spend as much on training as you want to, but on average, probably about 12,000, 10 to 12,000, somewhere thereabouts, just to get your private pilot's license. And assuming that you pick it up pretty quickly. Nobody ever gets it in the minimum. Well, I've had one student in my entire teaching career that, man, he was just like Johnny on the spot as soon as he got in the cockpit. But more times than not, it requires more hours than just the minimum.
And so basically the minimum is $10,000 to $12,000 minimum, and then it can just go up from there as far as just getting your hours.
Well, yeah, depending on where you want to go with it, if you want your instrument rating or your commercial pilot's license, or I mean, you can, assuming you're going to turn it into a career, it's going to be a lot more than that. But just to get your private pilot's license, so you can take passengers and tool around, about $12,000.
Okay. So for $12,000, and then you need an airplane. So
you don't get an airplane either.
You don't get an airplane for the 12,000. You got
they don't throw that in.
Oh my gosh. So let's just say, I mean, most people know what a Cessna is. Let's say that you get a good deal on a used Cessna, which most people do, right? Is that correct? You get a good used Cessna. I mean, nobody goes out and buys a new one, right off the bat.
Well, I mean, if you have the money, I guess you do. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a good deal on an airplane, because they all cost an arm and a freaking leg, especially when it comes to inspections. So personally, I would never own an airplane, but yeah, I mean, most people, my best guess is they're going to buy a used airplane.
And just off the hip, just a guess.
John, it's been so long, I couldn't even tell you now.
I mean, are we talking $10,000, 50, 100,000, 200,000? I mean, just a guess.
Just a guess. I don't know, Brian. Maybe you probably
Matt Stopper in the chat says 50K. I've never priced a Cessna personally.
I was looking at them recently, and they were starting at about 50K. It also depended a lot if they have the glass cockpit conversion or not. You're upwards of 100K on those.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking for a deal, we got a 2-person Rans S12 for sale at the moment.
There you go.
We'll let that go closer to 30.
Yeah.
But you're going to need a long runway and an airport.
Okay. And
Paramotors are a lot cheaper.
And also too, you have to store the airplane someplace, right? In the hangars, and there's hangar fees too, right?
Yeah, no, but backing it up just a little bit, that's not what most people do. Most people, when they get their private pilot's license, if their goal is to just become a pilot, most people don't go out and buy their own airplane. Usually they'll rent an airplane. And so, I mean, if they're able to do it, sure. But my experience has been most of the students that I've taught is they come back usually to the same school and just rent an airplane.
How do you rent an airplane? Is that like renting a car?
Yeah, and how much do they cost usually? That's per hour, right? Plus gas?
Per hour, and that's wet. So the fuel is included. When I did it, I think it was $125 an hour for the airplane. An hour. Okay. Now it was a newer Cessna. It was a nice Cessna, fully loaded, 172. But I bet you they're a little bit more now.
Okay.
That'll add up pretty quick.
Yeah. So it sounds like if you want to get your general aviation's license, you're going to dish out a minimum of $10,000 to $12,000, and then rent an airplane unless you have 50K, about ish, and then you can get a nice used cheap one. So we're talking still $60,000 to get your license and be able to fly the cheapest way, right? That's in general aviation, if you want to own your own airplane.
Yep.
Okay. With that said, let's talk about what we get to do as paramotor pilots, and not under general aviation, where we're okay. So general aviation is under what, FAA or FAA what, 92?
91.
91, and we are under FAR 103, which is so much nicer, less restrictive, no license.
Yeah, well, where do I start?
I know. Where do you start? Okay, do I kick out $60,000 to get my GA in an airplane, or what does it cost to actually get into paramotoring? And that's what our show is about tonight. So let's start off with Josh real quick, because he told us before the show that he was able to get into this really inexpensive. So Josh, how were you able to get into this really inexpensive, and would you start off with to get into the sport? We're going to talk later about what you're starting to spend once you're in the sport, which is totally different. But getting into the sport, how'd you start off, Mr. Josh?
So getting into the sport, I actually saw a Ryan Southwell video, his glamorous camping video when the guy lands on the train, and that was kind of what triggered the whole thing for me. And then I started looking at equipment, see how much it costs. You're looking at new equipment, it's up there in price. So I started looking at used equipment, and I saw, you're saving anywhere from 50 to 60% buying used equipment. So I kind of saw what was out there, what are people buying, what are people flying, what are the major brands? You got your Vitarazi, you got your Exceptions, you got your Parajet Mavericks. So I think if you stay within your little realm of what people are flying, what parts are available to you, and you buy a decent used kit, I think you can't really go wrong with that. But I made sure the guy demonstrated my used equipment for me before I bought it. He flew it in front of me, demoed it, everything. So I knew it was good, airworthy equipment. As soon as I got it, I went to training down with Kyle Oakley and saved pretty penny compared to some of the larger schools out there doing training with him. So all in all, grand total, I paid $7,000 for the paramotor and the wing, and then I paid $1,000 for training. So $8,000 got me flying.
That is really awesome. Now, of course, we're going to definitely come back to you because we know that you spent a little bit more money since you got that. Brian Haybill Waller, unfortunately, needs to head on out of here pretty soon. So let's go ahead and go to him real quick and ask him, because he went to Aviator, which I think is the most expensive school so far out there. Is that correct, Brian?
I can't speak to say it's for sure the most expensive school out there. It's the most expensive one I've ever priced, but I haven't priced most of the other schools. Yeah, I mean, I wanted good training, and I was able to afford to wait for it. I was on a 9-month waiting list, ended up being 6 months, and I got into class. Training was about $3,600, and it's 2 weeks long. So not only do you have to, take off for 2 weeks, you have to pay for that room and board. Luckily, I was in a camper, and I stayed at an RV park dirt cheap, so I was on the cheap end. So you're probably going to spend room and board and everything to train and go down there probably around $5,000.
I'm sorry. So you're talking about $3,600 for the training and another $5,000 to stay there for 2 weeks, or $5,000 altogether?
Whatever room. If you do an Airbnb for 2 weeks, whatever that costs, I was able to stay in my camper for like a couple $100. So it depends on, it's plus room and board because you got to stay there for 2 weeks. And then I bought my gear new at Aviator, and all in all, between the new Parajet Maverick with the Moster 185, new A-rated Mojo wing, flotation, and a reserve, it was about $1,200. $12,000. So you add that up, and then eventually I bought the Aviator helmet, and then if you start tacking on things like GoPros and stuff like that, they can get pretty expensive too. But yeah, I mean, I think just to get my training and my gear out the door, I'm about $18,000 into it all.
Okay, so on our low side right now with Josh, it's about $8,000. On the high side so far, it's about $18,000 with you.
Yeah,
is that right?
That's about what it cost me to get everything training.
And that doesn't
include any second wings down the road or anything like that, but just to get into the sport.
And that I think a lot of people don't think about too. I'm glad that you mentioned that, as far as you got training for $3,600, but you had to stay down there for 2 weeks, room and board. That does cost some money. So you're saying that if you don't have a camper and if you get Airbnb, it probably cost you around $5,000 for everything for those 2 weeks.
I had no idea how much Airbnbs cost. I would imagine staying somewhere for 2 weeks would cost a pretty penny. I know it would if you're in a hotel.
I'm going to chime in here. I actually happened to stay when I was in training, I'd stayed at a motel, 2 different motels in Spring Hill, Louisiana. These are not your high-class motels, let me tell you that. It's very important that you get a good night's sleep when you're in training, and that you stay somewhere where you can get a good night's sleep. Because when I was in training, we had cars rolling by the motel all hours of the night, subwoofers blaring, air conditioners that rattled, neighbors fighting. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. So stay at a nice Airbnb or a nice hotel. Don't take the cheap route when it comes to staying somewhere.
It's a good point. Very good point.
Absolutely. Because you got to leave here in just a few minutes, Brian. So you paid about 18,000 just to fly, get your gear, and go out the door. Now, what other things did you decide that you needed, like the GoPros, and well, I don't know, what else did you buy that
like
would jack that up? You think?
Aviation radio, 2-meter radios. There's all these little things that you don't necessarily think of. All these fancy GoPro mounts to go, or selfie sticks. Was it Shane's got this 18-foot selfie stick? But no, there's a lot of different little things you don't think of. You don't have to have those to get into aviation. You just need a good, reliable motor and a wing. You don't have to have a reserve. You don't have to have flotation. I tried to get everything I needed right off the bat, and I bought new gear. That way I knew it would be good, reliable gear for a while, as long as I took care of it. There's definitely cheaper ways to get into the sport, buying used gear. You can train locally, somewhere where you don't have to pay for room and board. If you go to a school that's closer to home. So there's a lot of options out there. It depends on what you have time and money for, really.
And also, too, a lot of people don't realize that the oil and the gas, depending on how much you fly, that adds up too. Not a lot, but it does add up.
Not as much as it does. Like say if you have a Cessna, it's got 40 whatever gallons, and it's $4 a gallon to fill up. So what's that? $160? That's, aviation fuel. I don't know what it's going for now, but I'm just guessing $4. That's not cheap. Of course, it doesn't cost us quite that much.
No, it doesn't. And if you have a Moser 185, what do we say, about a gallon an hour? Is that about a gallon an hour for a Moser 185, depending on how hard you throttle?
So each gallon is what, 3 liters? Is that what it is?
Yeah, almost 4.
Okay, so 4 liters. Yeah,
it's way cheaper than the fuel consumption of any aircraft. Obviously, we're the most efficient flying machines out there that I know.
I think it depends a lot on what wing you have too, as far as fuel consumption.
Sure,
and that Mojo is going to be dragging a lot more than something higher end like a Spider or Scirocco.
Yeah, I'm getting awesome fuel economy on my wing. Probably
if you,
the size, it's a 23 instead of the 21.
If you fly a lot, you go through a lot of oil, you do a lot more maintenance on your motor. Maintenance can be pretty expensive to stay into the sport. Some people go through a lot of starters, exhaust, just all kind of problems that you can have. Paramotor pilots are known for being mechanics. If you want to stay in the air.
That's true. I totally agree with you. I had my 19 exhaust crack. I had to replace it, but I replaced it with the Vortex Aero exhaust, and it's amazing. I had that on my last motor, and I just love their exhaust. Props a couple of times. You're not supposed to foot drag a rock road for a reason. And a couple of flips and twists and stuff that damaged a little bit of stuff here and there. Didn't even think about it. So you get your stuff, okay, like Josh got all of his stuff, right? $8,000. He's ready to go fly, and then he breaks a prop. Then it's at $500 to fix the prop. Then he goes out and flies around. Then he bends a cage, right? Another cage piece costs a couple $100 or something.
I haven't done any of this.
No. I'm sorry. Not Josh. He hasn't done any of this. I'm just saying you could go into this sport low end, and it could still rack up pretty quickly depending on what happens. As far as I know, Josh has never broken any equipment or props.
Nope.
He's a very good
Still
flyer.
Original.
Yep. So he got in low end, he stayed low end, but there's some people that start off with a small motor like Will Fly. He started off with the Atom 80. got all of your equipment, and didn't you go through a couple of wings, and now you're in a new motor, right?
Yep. I went through one prop and 2 wings, and yeah, my second motor. And the one thing I do want to say that if somebody is listening to this and they're like thinking, oh my gosh, I'd never be able to afford all that. I did it piecemeal. I mean, I started out the training and the motor and the wing. And so all of these expenses are just, a lot of them are just things that just kind of come up, you know, or you'll see your buddy, he's got something, oh man, that looks really, I want one of those, you know, and so it's not a big outlay of cash all at once if you don't want it to be. So
a lot of times people don't have that.
yeah.
Brian, real quick, before you have to head on out, and I hate that you're going to be heading out, but I know that you have to. What are some of the things that you bought, Brian, that after you bought them and used them for a while, you decided, man, I'd never needed to use that because that's ridiculous?
Reserve, flotation, never need them. No, let's hope I never do. But I can't think of anything that I bought new right off the bat that I wish I didn't buy. You know, it didn't take me that long before I was kind of wishing I had that B-rated wing instead of the A-rated wing to start with. But that's the decision I made going into the sport. I wanted to fly the safest wing out there for a year, but I don't have any regrets. I feel like if I had to go back and do it overall again, knowing what I know about other schools at the moment and aviator, I mean, I would still do the aviator experience. Absolutely. It's an incredible group of people. The training is incredible. They know what they're doing. They've been through it a bunch of times. And you know, I've had the ability to work with other schools since then. I work with Carolina PPG. I'm up there in North Carolina, another great group of instructors. They're newer at it. They offer shorter classes to people that are in that area. They can't go to a 2-week class, can maybe only go to a week-long class. So there's different options out there. Just know that. But ultimately, I think knowing what I know, if I had to recommend somebody to go get training, hands down, I'd recommend go to aviator if you can afford it and you've got the time. If you can't and you need to mill it together like Will's talking about, absolutely. You can find schools that'll work with you 1 or 2 days at a time or on the weekends, get you a wing, practice kiting, buy things as you have money to do it. There's more than one way to get into the sport. So absolutely don't let my initial cost deter you from it. It's the most incredible thing you can ever do, in my opinion. So definitely get into it. However, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. I kind of meant the 2-meter radio that you said that you don't use anymore.
Oh, sorry. Say the question one more time,
man. So anyway, that's very good. I'm very glad that you jumped on here tonight, Brian. I appreciate you, buddy. Hope you have a great week, and glad you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up. And hopefully we'll see you in next season.
See you next
All right,
Monday.
guys.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll see you next year. Peace out.
Peace out, Brian.
Hey, I got
Thank you,
buddy. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so there seems to be a bunch of things that I bought also that I thought that I needed when I first started flying, you know, like that aviation band radios. Like, okay, I got this, and, you know, then I got a helmet that had the Senna and all the other Bluetooth things, and bought a bunch of different GoPros and the different mounts. I don't even fly with the GoPros anymore most of the time. I don't use that helmet and the communication thing that I bought originally. You know, I don't use that handheld radio or connect it to my motor. I just don't use it. So there's a lot of things that I think that you might feel like you need to get to Paramotor, but I think all you need is a chest mount and a few apps on your phone. And because once you get up there, you might need your Google to get back to your LZ if you flew around too far.
That's another thing.
What's that?
My Garmin watch, I rely on that thing every single flight. I mean, because it does what you're just talking about. I didn't think about that. There are a lot of little there's little things,
Little expensive things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Seems like it's a little $500 here, a little $500 there.
Yeah, I bought my airband radio. I'm like, oh, this is gonna make me super safe. I'll be able to hear all the pilots. I'll be able to talk to nobody uses this damn airband radio. And if you can use it, there's so much static from the ignition. It's impossible to hear.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that before the show. The airband radio I use like 10 times more than I use the 2-meter radio, but that's because a lot of my flying is at the airport. But like what Josh said, even with the 2-meter, I very rarely will use that because I can't understand the daggone thing anyone's telling me. And so the aviation radio is a little bit different because I can put 2 and 2 together. I kind of know what to expect they're going to say and then kind of put the words together. But I have not come up with a good solid solution to static on the radio, even with the plugs and different plugs, just nothing seems.
As far as I know, you have to shield the entire cable and ground it to the motor housing.
Well, yeah, with the whole cable.
Yeah, the entire.
You talking about the throttle
cable?
Yeah.
No, not the.
Yeah,
the spark plug cable.
Yeah, I even put some of those ferrite clamps over the ignition. Yeah, it helped a little bit, believe it or not, just a little bit. Nice. Maybe it was just my imagination. I wanted it to work.
Placebo.
Yeah.
I see in the chat, Matt Sloper said that he's in 9,000 just for the electric PPG and reserve, but never has to buy gas ever again. So
you got to buy the electricity.
Unless you got a solar panel. Ooh. Do you have a solar panel, Matt Sloper? That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, then you can actually fly for free.
Yeah.
Oh, and then every year your inspection. Did you get that down too? I totally forgot.
I did not.
I forgot about
a wing inspection.
A wing inspection. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't do that.
What's that? So for general aviation, you have to do annual inspections too. What's that cost?
Matt Sloper asked about that, and a very conservative, I would say maybe $1,000, most likely more. But that's not the expensive part. The expensive part is the stuff that they find during the inspection that has to be fixed. There's where they get you, So, and that's the reason I say I would never, ever. I don't think owning an airplane is a good investment. It's not. If you got the money, you throw at it. It's not a big deal. Okay, but it's just not a good investment. There's nothing.
So you said $1,000 for inspection plus whatever it costs when they find something that needs to be replaced.
Yeah, and $1,000 would be very conservative. So, and I've never known them not to find something that needs to be addressed.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'll stick with my biannual wing inspection. $200.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, serious. Okay, so you get an inspection, right, on an airplane. Okay, you could be walking out paying $3,500, right? Well, you get a whole brand new freaking wing for that.
Aircraft in a bag.
Yeah, that's right. Deweese, did you see what she said?
No.
She was saying that. Let me go back to it. She did make an interesting point. But that people don't get into paramotoring for the same reason they get into general aviation. And yeah, I'd have to say that's probably right. Everyone has their own reasons of wanting to learn how to fly or whatever. But for me, when I first had the idea that I wanted to become a pilot, I wanted to become a pilot because I wanted to feel what it felt like to fly. And I love airplanes. I love flying airplanes, but it doesn't give you the same feeling of flight. It doesn't even come close that a paramotor does. So when I wanted to get back into some form of GA, that's where I discovered the McDonald's Tucker Gott thing, you know, that whole thing. And that's kind of where it started. And here I am now. What a freaking blessing too, because man, I could have the worst freaking day and then go up and fly for an hour. And it's just like I land, I'm a new person, you know? That's not.
I know. And therapy is expensive.
Air therapy is what it's called.
Air therapy. I love it.
Yep. So,
JP jumped in. Hello, JP, since you jumped in. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, guys? My internet is like really bad right now. I don't know if you can see and hear me. I can barely hear and see you guys. Can you
looked like a Picasso painting for a second.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Picasso.
I might have to punch out here in a minute, but I wanted to at least let you guys know I was thinking about you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, definitely. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you, JP. And if you're able to stay, great. If not, we'll see you next year in season 3.
Absolutely.
All right. Josh, you were going to say something before I...
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Mark H. brought up a great point in the chat about the paratrailers. So how many of you have paratrailers?
Oh, yeah.
Or a hitch. Or a hitch that you put it on. Like I bought a hitch over at Harbor Freight. It was only $39 on sale. And that's what I used to put my paramotor on. So not much of an expense, but nickel and dimes us to death, doesn't it?
Yeah, I built my paratrailer because I had bad sleep at Kyle's. And I was like, I'm never staying at that place again. And this was before Airbnb. So I was like, all right, I'm going to build me my trailer. 2 years later, it's finally done. And we went to Bad Apples. We went to Aviator. And hoping to take it to Salton Sea and Arizona Flying Circus later next year.
Nice.
So that's an added expense that a lot of people end up getting. Is at least a cargo trailer or some sort of way to transport all their equipment and keep it, safe from the elements.
Yeah, and a place to stay wherever you are.
There you go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Have you seen Ross Gassaway's van? The Van Hauser. He's got it's a white van. He's got he did it himself. Really, really nice, man.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he works down there at Aviator, I think.
Okay, so it is that, Russ. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, Josh, you said that you found an instructor for $1,000, and
but you can't get that price anymore.
You can't.
Yeah.
No, you can get definitely not.
He went out.
Let's see. And Brian said he spent $3,600. Will, if you would like to, if you don't want to divulge how much you spent on training, don't say. But would you spend?
No, I don't mind. $1,800 is what I paid.
Okay.
And that was local.
Interesting. So there's about what people are charging and have charged. You're out here, JP? No. Oh, just piece. Okay.
No, 2,000.
Okay. 2K.
2,000 for training.
Okay. So for those of you who are listening to our podcast, JP just put up 2 fingers. We didn't know if he was just saying, peace, we love you, but apparently it's 2,000 that he's paid. Okay. Well, so what are the odds and ends that people may not think about? We just said a couple of them, like a place to carry or a carrying rack or a trailer or in your smart car. Some of them do break down, and some, smart car Brian, right? He breaks his down and puts it in a smart car.
Yeah, in a car about that size.
Yeah. So you may not need a carrier. Oh, and I had to put a hitch on so I could put a receiver on.
Dang, man. I'm looking at this total going up. What I'm doing is putting things that other people, kind of putting it all together.
Yeah. So
a lot of money on.
Let's not forget one wheels and scooters.
Oh my God! Yes.
Dang it! The Segway.
Yeah, I got the Segway. That's right. Got the Segway. Then I got the other Segway because those are so awesome.
It never stops.
No.
My wife's like, "You're buying another thing?"
Yeah, so write that down too. Will, you're gonna tell us your list here in just a moment, right? Since we've
Sure.
been going through. Okay, yeah, definitely. I forgot about the segues. I got 2 segues. It makes it really easy at the school and over in fly-ins. What other things? What other odds and ends can you guys think of that we purchased for flying but maybe forgot about?
Flight suits.
Flight suits, snowmobile suits, cold weather gear of some sorts, electric gloves,
Yeah.
I'm
Glasses.
a big fan of heated socks.
heated socks, right?
No, but I want a pair of those.
They are
Should go on the
game changer,
list.
man. They're so nice.
Really?
They're better than the gloves, in my opinion. They just keep my whole body warm. Keep my toes warm. My whole body stays warm.
That's
So you just
awesome.
keep your hands and your feet when you're
Yep,
flying?
pretty much. Well, I got a nice one-piece snowmobile suit too. It's what's that brand? Carhartt. It's a pretty nice one. Keeps me really warm.
Nice. Paragliding Bible. There's $60.
Yep. The Bible. Unless your school buys it for you, you will probably buy it for yourself. So, yep. I guess you'd have to put that into your cost of instructing, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting point too, because a lot of schools, if you buy equipment from them, they'll give you a break or a discount on the training. So something to keep in mind.
Right. What other things? Different microphones for your helmet. You might try different microphones. I've tried a couple different microphones. Different speakers for your headset. I know I changed out mine too because I wanted to hear, lower bass tones. Make it a like that. Bose. The Bose is really good. What other
Hey,
things?
is my audio good? I don't want to talk if I sound
No, sounds
terrible.
good now.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Mad Sloper in the chat asks, how many wings do most people usually buy within 2 years of learning? And I replied, I think most people are gonna fly their first wing for their first 2 years. I think there is the odd anomaly, but I think most people, 2 years per wing, I think wouldn't be unheard of. I think most people are pretty happy with their beginner wing for a solid couple years. What do you guys think?
I do a new wing a year.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna fulfill the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm never gonna exceed the limits of my wing, so I'll probably never grow out of my B wing, my spider. And honestly, I'll probably keep it until it's deteriorated beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on my second
Absolutely.
wing too. In my second year, I guess. So
I think a lot of that goes into, the type of, not only the type of pilot, but the type of person you are, what kind of flight you're looking for. A lot of people are just happy to get up in the air. Some people are destined for acro and loop-de-loops and infinite tumbles and you name it. I think some people just go up and want to take pictures. Some people just want to go up and listen to music. It all depends on what you're after. And I think a lot of that goes in with the support gear. Some people don't need 17 cameras. Some people, that's the whole purpose that they're flying, is to take pictures and videos. Sean said, you said you never use your GoPro. I use my GoPros all the time. Like, I think this is highly specific to the pilot, which goes back to that statement that get your training first before you buy any gear, to see what is going to be good for you before you go out and start buying stuff for what you think you're going to need it for. Fly a little bit, do some research, find out what fits you good, what you like before you start spending money, because that's what we see time and time again is people who buy gear and that gear sits in their garage for years because it was the wrong size or old tech, or they can't fly in the area they live and just didn't do enough research. I think research is key, and experience will tell you a lot of what you're going to need as you get further and further into it. Boom, I just did all the talking for all the time I missed.
Well,
right on, man. Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
That's our show.
Did awesome.
Absolutely. Linda Anderson. I have a question for you. You do not fly, but you have heard about flying and stuff like that. You've heard us say different numbers on the podcast this evening, but for you to be without ever flown in a paramotor, newbie-ish, I suppose, what would you think it would cost to learn to fly? I mean, of course, we did put out some numbers, but with your circumstances where you live, budget and stuff like that, what would you want to do? Would you want to buy all new, all used? What do you think could cost you to fly?
Oh gosh. I first of all, I would want a new wing. Absolutely. If
Linda's been around a little while. She knows the right answer to these questions.
Well, that is definitely the right answer.
I would not mess with any used equipment at all, because it's your safety, and and try to something like this. It's not like you're buying a used bicycle and you can just throw the wheels. No, go into the bike shop and put new parts on it, and that's it. You're putting your life in your hands, jumping in, getting in the air with all this equipment and everything. And to me, the wing would have to be brand new.
I like that. I think that's really good.
Paragliding, whatever. If you're free flying, then that stuff's got to, that all has to be new. Make sure you know who you're getting the equipment from, and then, like we say over and over again, get a good instructor. Talk to people. Talk to the people that have been flying like forever, and get their advice, and get that training and everything. And as far as how much it costs, I don't know, unless they have do they have a payment plan? Otherwise, just go out there and throw your MasterCard and say, all right, I want this or I want that wing. I wouldn't even know where to begin even to buy a wing. I would have to have somebody, that knows what they're doing, knows about the product and stuff before I would even, if I were to get into it. Yeah. Is it like, okay, the first thing you want to buy is the wing, right? That's the first thing that you think about is the wing.
Are you talking about after training?
I want to fly now. What do I buy?
Are you talking about after training?
Yeah.
Okay, so after training, what do you guys think? As far as after training, you would get the equipment probably from your instructor or from the school, or would you go out and buy something that you want to from somebody else?
I think it's a great idea to support your instructor if possible. Some instructors I think don't sell gear. I think the majority probably do. I think it's smart to get what they sell, because you're going to need help with it eventually. And it's better to ask him for help on equipment he's familiar with, or he or she. I say he because that's how humans talk. You're more likely to get help from your instructor with something he's familiar with than not. I think that's the most logical route. I don't think that's 100% what you should always do, though. I think generally that's a good idea, though.
So when you're buying a new wing, there's all different prices for these new wings, and how do you know? What if you're on a budget? What if you don't have $7,000 to throw out for a new wing?
Absolutely, and there's another.
How do you, because a lot of us don't have that, and so, and you want to fly and you want to start that new wing.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of that goes with experience. I think that's why it's just really important for new people for the wing. I think it's great to get a brand new first wing. I got a used wing as my third wing, I think, and I got taken on it. Like, it was a bad wing, and I thought I knew what to look for, and I mean, it's not terrible. It's flyable, but there's just some stuff that I look back on, and it was $1,000, and I was like, for a wing that flies, at least use it for kiting, but it barely kites. It's so heavy and old, and some of the lines are, um, I just, it's with time and experience, you know what to look for with used equipment. When you're buying new equipment, you don't have to worry about looking for what could be wrong with it. You take that off the table. Um, so I think that's a great reason to get it new when you're just getting into it. But as you get experience and you know what to look for, I think it's a better. I've got some great used wings. Even with that bad experience I had with the used wing, I had better luck with great used wings. I got my Spider um, for literally it would be a little less than half price of a brand new Spider, and I've flown that for about 3 years. And I got my free ride for less than half price of a brand new free ride. And you're talking about less than 2,000 versus 4,000. And if you know what to look for, I think you can um, make some great. You can save some money, but you got to be careful because you can also get into something potentially dangerous.
Somebody that's bought used, definitely if you're going to get a used wing, make sure it's been inspected and at least has an inspection report at least a couple months.
Absolutely.
Nothing a year or two old, and have them test fly it for you right in front of you. Have them demonstrate that everything works, that they're willing to fly the equipment. And then when you bring it to your instructor, have your instructor go through it. My instructor, Kyle, was the test pilot for my new gear, and he went up and flew my paramotor and my wing before I ever did. Make sure it was in tip-top shape. So as JP said, you can save up to 50% on some of these wings and equipment, and there are some deals out there to be had.
Absolutely. There was still plenty of life left in it, like plenty of life left in it. But I will share this on that bad wing I got. I opened up the bag and looked at it a little bit. I didn't take it out of the stuff sack. When I took it out when I got home, because I had chatted with the guy that I bought it from, and he seemed like a real nice guy. He was real chatty, and I thought people are good. People in the community are good. There's no way he's going to pull anything on me. And I took that wing home. I wish I would have saved. I think there was probably without exaggerating, probably at least 10 pounds of sand in it. And it was an older type of wing that doesn't have the butthole in the tips. And it took me probably 3 hours to move that sand from the ends into the middle to a position that I could dump it out. And it was just, I felt so foolish. And I even contacted him afterwards, and I was like, man, come on, this isn't cool. And he's like, not my problem. And I was just really left that, I don't know, I guess to look at it now is I learned something from that experience. Sure. And that I guess that is worth the price of admission. So be very careful about stuff like that.
What about when do you, like the harness, you buy the harness when you buy the wing? Like you buy that separate from the wing? Is the harness something that comes later after
it's typically separate, Linda. Usually the harness is part of the motor or the frame. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
With paragliding, it's a little bit different, but for paramotor, it's usually part of the frame. But there's always there's kiting harnesses too that you can sometimes use for free flight as well.
Kiting harness, that's what I was thinking.
Kiting harnesses. Do you have that, Will Fly?
I do not.
I bet Sean in the chat has.
Don't feel bad, Will. Don't feel bad.
Just another $500 thing to buy.
Yeah. And Nick Griffith mentioned an anemometer. I don't have one of those. I've never used that. I just memorized my windsock, but then I'm thinking I need to add a windsock.
As far as new wings come with, all my new wings came with windsocks.
Yeah, well, but did it have an extendable pole and all that?
No,
I bought an extendable pole.
Yeah, well, I did too. $10 at Walmart.
You can spend hundreds of dollars on windsocks. I got one of those orange driveway markers for $2 at the hardware store and a little string of foil tape
That's
that
what
I found.
use.
I found it in the field actually, and
Oh, you did? Man, you are
yeah.
cheapskate.
Dude, it's $3.
Just take the film out of the VCR.
Exactly. That's all it is. The VHS
Yeah.
tape.
Oh,
That's
funny.
exactly what I
Well,
use, and that stuff is awesome. The trail
It's
tape.
shiny. You can see it from thousands of feet in the air, so you can read, the field when you're coming down. And if you
Oh.
forget it at the field, you're not out a bunch of money. I can't tell you how many
Wow.
times I've been the last one to leave the LZ, and other people have forgotten their wind socks. So
Interesting.
it
I got
happens.
Matt Sloper.
You don't need to spend $100 on a telescoping, wind sock for your first time out. If you're trying to get
Okay,
in the sport
You
on a
have to spend
budget,
something, right?
you have to spend something.
Okay, so I got a
Yeah.
low and I got a high. So, to say on the low side,
I
$10.
have I had an old fishing pole with the reel or with
Perfect.
the and then I
Perfect.
just tied some streamers on it. So free.
Oh, never
Okay, so
thought of
you're-
that.
All right,
Make
so
your
I'll do
own
zero.
wind sock.
Yeah.
Go to Home Depot, make your own wind sock.
Yeah, my
Maybe
wind sock's a
are you on, like,
telescoping paint pole.
What?
I'll say my wind sock, my pole is a telescoping pole for paint for the rollers.
Oh,
Yeah.
18
yeah.
feet or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, listen to these ideas. I'm really impressed. I guess you would have to be inventive or you'd be paying a fortune for wind socks every time you lose one, right?
Yeah, that's what Bill H just said. He left his at the air. I've done that many times. Left my windsock, or I'll pull the windsock out and I'll leave the thing you stick in the ground. I don't know, the post or whatever you stick in the ground. I'll leave it there.
Oh, funny.
You
I never
need
thought
a
of
better
that.
you need a better post-flight checklist, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Does that cost money?
Your checklist is just a piece of paper that you write down on, right?
Is that what you do, Sean? Are you one of those organized guys that write everything down so you don't forget anything at the field?
Actually, well, I mean, it's a post flight, so it actually is on my list to make sure, because one time when I first started, those L's that go underneath your tire, so then you put your flagpole on, right? So I took the flagpole down and then I drove off and I left that piece down there. So, yeah, I do have a checklist now because I forgot something one time.
I see. Okay.
Where was it, Sean?
One
Your
of the
local?
fly-ins, one of our
Oh,
fly-ins, I can't remember. It's one of
It's
the
not something you could go back and grab it, because I've done that.
Nah, it's no big deal. It was long time ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm making my own, so it's no big deal.
Oh, Resurgence PPG. Todd said matching shoes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
I always
Hey,
forgot that.
Yeah.
On the low
Gotta
side,
match your shoes to your
$5.
win.
And socks.
On the
Gotta be
high side,
fashionable.
what? $250?
Yeah.
And you've
probably.
got to buy a hat to support. Obviously, Josh supports Aviator. Will,
Well, that's
who do you
true.
support?
I get that for free. I mean, whoever gives me a hat. I don't know what that means, man. Is that like a cereal box?
I support Ohio.
Yeah.
What is
Dude.
1803? What is that?
Why does everyone ask me that? It's the year of
Nobody
statehood.
knows.
I mean, it's. I
How
feel
does
like it's
that
common.
make sense? You don't
Everyone
know.
asks you that.
People in Ohio ask me that, and it's on the back of every Ohio license plate. Like
Oh, well,
every time you're in
look where I
traffic, it's
live.
like all over the
Oh.
place.
Oh,
So,
I don't see that here, in Michigan. So,
mhm.
and
Because Michigan sucks.
wait, Mr. Buckeye. Who beat your Buckeyes? Who?
That was
JD?
one time.
Uh-huh.
One time.
Go blue. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it.
Wait, is that like Ohio has a team? Is that like Ohio Online or what is
I'm
that?
gonna knock you out.
You're gonna jump out of that screen. You will. It's like, I'm knocking you out.
Matt Sloper says paragliding boots. I didn't really think about that, but I do wear boots on occasion.
Yeah, sometimes I got a pair of those those ones that are all solid rubber that come up to your knees. I got those at the hardware store for 10 or 20 bucks, I think. Something
Like waders?
yeah. I got those specifically for a day that I had to go back into like a waterlogged field, and now I just keep them in my trunk because
You don't launch with them.
That's smart. Keep them on hand.
yeah, just in case you need to, because even my nice leather waterproof boots, they still get wet, and when you're those waders are good for foot drag and water though, because it doesn't you can submerge them and they're not, your toes are staying dry. So
I think wouldn't it be harder to foot launch in those and boots?
yeah, they're kind of
than just
awkward.
Regular shoes.
They're kind of awkward, but when you're as good as me, you don't have any issues taking off.
I actually bought boots. These are the tactical boots, so they're lighter than shoes. They protect your ankles, and they don't have any eyelets right there too. So they're all eyelet.
Oh, nice.
So I bought. So I have.
Fashionable.
I have 3 pair. I got 2 black and one is a different color. It's a green, because if I'm flying in the snow, I want to wear this. When I'm flying during the summertime, I got to wear the other color boots so it's easier to see my my feet. But yeah, these are lighter than shoes. These are really great. So yeah, I
tread
did
on the bottom of those.
the tread. Well, one of them is almost bald. I don't know why. Only on the right foot, not the left. I don't understand. It's like somebody sliding on something.
Well, the reason I asked that,
Go ahead,
when
Josh.
I come into land and when the dew has hit the grass, I'm always slipping and sliding all over the place when I wear my boots. So I'm looking for something with some new tread.
I come in differently. I come in with a foot drag, and then when I stop, I just set up. There's no running afterwards. As soon as I'm landed, I'm done. So
Okay.
I don't have that issue, Mr. Josh. I'm gonna have to watch your videos and see what you're doing, and
Oh,
maybe
that's right, because you tried, Grandpa. I forgot. Yes.
Josh, try the metal golf cleats. They work great, man.
they'll stop.
I honestly thought about doing that. But no, I've been practicing my foot drag landings a lot recently, and it's like Sean was saying, you can just kind of get all the energy out on that foot drag, and by dragging your foot, it kind of keeps you parallel to the ground, and your feet don't swing out in front of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
and here-
nice. I really
And here's
enjoy
a
that.
secret too. Here's a secret too. Pull your trims all the way in and do a double wrap on your brakes. So when you do come in, you can burn it all the way off until you just walk. You're done.
Yeah, I should try that. I've never taken a wrap.
I haven't either.
Yeah, that's it. You can do so much more when you wrap, because when you come down, you can come in and you can basically stop like a half an inch and then just boom, you're there. You're just standing there. There's no running afterwards. I mean, I don't understand why people run after they come in for a landing. They shouldn't. They just come in, whoop, and then it's like boop, a touch, a swoop and touch. I need to do a video on that, I think. So I keep on hearing people like Josh talk about sliding in when they come in for a landing.
I think it depends on the conditions you're in too.
Yeah, for me, it's only when there's dew on the ground.
Yeah.
You need to do that swoop, come in, and then just you're there. That's it.
Would you like me to show you what I have so far?
Oh yes, it's after 8 o'clock. Definitely. Let's go ahead and look at the list of what we came up with, or what Will came up with, as far as the lowest sides, and then we go up to the highest side, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you're gonna do? Did you do the high and low?
I did the, yep, I sure did.
All right. This is gonna be good. And that's for everything, right, Will?
Well, it's for everything that we've come up with thus far. It does not, though, include a paratrailer
It does not.
or any expense you may incur while traveling around to various.
Oh, no
you
kidding.
know,
How about as far as, travel money? I mean, as far as your car, how much does it take for you to fill up your car and drive to the fly-ins? I mean, you do that a couple of times. Yeah, do that a couple of times a year, and it does add up.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna spend $1,000 just going to Salton Sea just on fuel.
yeah,
Probably easy.
Okay,
yeah.
can you see that?
I see lines in it. Oh, there it goes. Lines are gone.
Okay, so you see it though, right?
Okay, yes, see it now.
All
Yeah.
right, so the left column is the low, and on the low side, up to $13,740. On the high side, $20,339.
And that has nothing to do with the fuel. You know,
No.
your fuel on the paramotor and the oil, and your fuel in the car transporting it from your house to the
Yeah,
airport.
but then a lot of people, you don't need a flight suit. You don't have to have a GoPro.
That's
You don't have to
right.
have heated gloves if you're
On a
in,
paramotor, you have to have
warmer.
GoPro.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right. And even
You have to have a one wheel too if you have, or
Exactly.
a Segway if you have a paramotor. But some of those things you could sacrifice. I think you're low. You could remove some of those. Will.
Okay, what could we remove on, say, the low side?
The flight suit. I mean, if you're in a warmer climate, the flight suit, the heated gloves,
Okay.
radio pouch.
Well, wait a minute. Before we start removing things, let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. The the PPG Bible. Okay, we'll probably. Oh, he moved that. Hold on.
I'm not gonna. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I meant to copy it and just put it over here,
Okay.
and then that way I could.
Put it back
Of course.
once you're off because,
Right.
because
So-
you like your.
So we need to do a bare minimum where somebody gets
Yeah.
a helmet, their bicycle helmet, and they put in earplugs, So I mean,
Yeah. Some
or
people
they,
don't even use a helmet.
right.
Captain Kurt.
Okay,
So-
so this is on this column here. We can remove or change anything. So make it a bare minimum.
All right.
If you want bare
So-
minimum, I got my paramotor and wing for $7,000.
That was a good deal.
Yeah.
I've seen
They're out
another
there.
deal like
They're
that
out
on
there.
Reddit.
Okay,
Just
so
recently.
what would be a good deal on a used wing and motor, I guess?
Well, I
Probably say
think
4,500 to 5
$2,000 for a
grand
nice.
paramotor.
I think $2,000 for a wing is very attainable.
Yeah,
Okay,
$2,000 for a wing, I think is really good.
And
I mean,
then
if you know what
maybe-
you're looking for, or you
if
can
you know
get
what you're looking for,
sanded. Right, you can get
and then
sanded.
yeah, exactly. Then maybe 45 to
4 to
5.
5.
I'd say 3,500 is the bare minimum for a good used motor.
Yeah, because I sold one for that, so I'll,
Right.
I'll agree with that.
I bought a couple of them for 35, and they're fine.
Okay, and Bill H says a helmet for 30. I would agree with that. I mean,
I'd say so maybe they just got a $30 bicycle helmet and put in, those orange earplugs.
I
yeah,
know plenty of people who don't have a radio or a radio pouch.
Exactly.
yeah,
You-
and if you're getting instruction, which you are, I'm sure they'll have a radio for you to
Uh-huh.
communicate.
Right. So you don't have to actually buy it.
So get rid of that radio pouch. Don't need that.
Right.
Gotta have the Bible. Don't need heated gloves.
I don't
I
know.
mean-
I don't think you need anything in that second group.
Heated gloves. Well, you do have to have some kind of eye protection, I guess
Sunglasses. Yeah.
right? So everyone has a pair of those, so we can get rid of that.
I just use the glasses that I drove to the field with.
Don't need
Literally.
that. That's usually what I use too. Flights
Yeah.
reserve, you won't need a reserve.
Right.
Or the Garmin Watch, Segway, anemometer, kiting harness. I think you need a kiting harness, but you don't have to have it because the instructor will have it, right?
Maybe.
Most of
my
my
copper kiting harness till 2 years into the sport.
You don't have one, Josh?
No, I finally got one, but
Oh, okay.
I started with just a kiting harness, and then it chafed pretty good, so I went to a free flight one.
Okay.
Yeah. Free flight harnesses to kite are the best, I think.
Entire column. Man, I don't want to do any of that. Guess I'll just clear it. That's all I want to do. Well, I don't know. So here I'll cheat and cut it maybe and put it over there and then delete it. Okay, so and windsock, don't have to have that. We already came up with 0 and matching shoes. Sorry, Todd, you don't have to have that. The wing still flies. your luck might not be as good.
That's true.
So we got it down to $7,090.
And maybe if you're just lucky, you might be able to shave that $90. So we can just say 7,000 for all that right now, just to get up and fly. And we know that's exactly what Josh did.
So we'll say a $90 discount. 7,000.
Right, which is exactly what Josh paid. Right?
Yep, that's exactly what I paid for a wing and paramotor.
All right. So that does not include $1,000 for training.
It does include $1,500 for training.
Includes $1,500 for training. Okay.
Which that's Kyle's new price. And I still think he's probably the cheapest around.
I think he is too.
$1,500 is the cheapest price you can get right now that I know of anywhere. And I think that's going up pretty soon because of, well, the world.
Yeah. And Todd says that it's also the intangibles. We touched on that of lodging, travel, meals during training.
Right.
Yeah, and of course the time off whatever.
That's right. That's right. You may lose if you're not working a salary job, you might be losing money.
Yeah. So, but hey, okay. So there you have it. It is definitely, if you have the desire to fly and you want to learn how to fly a paramotor, it is definitely attainable. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we're saying $7,000 is the minimum, bare freaking minimum that you're even fathom of thinking. And that's if you know people that will get you really good $2,000 wings that are used and a good $3,500 motor. If you try to do that from eBay, I swear that you will not get that deal from eBay.
Yeah.
You will not.
Not even on Prime Day.
No, definitely. No. So that's if you're able to wiggle your way into it, knowing people that know people, get your training for $1,500, find a $2,000 good wing that's not going to drop you out of the sky, and a $3,500 motor that's going to carry you and not drop you out of the sky. $7,000 minimum.
Yep.
The high side is just a tad bit over $20,000, but we're also talking about getting that Garmin watch and possibly that Segway and other odds and ends that you might just have to have if you're a gadget person.
Yeah.
And then mid is about 20,000. I'm sorry. And then the low is about 13,500. So minimum 7. I guess that low side, we should maybe call average about.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've always used the number 15,000 when someone asks me, for all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, kind of a go-to.
15,000, yeah. And that kind of matches what I spent.
So I always say it's like the cost of a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
It really is. So I guess you think that you're going to get into it for about 7,000, right? And then over the course of a year or so, it ends up being $13,000 or $20,000.
Yeah. How much does it cost to play a game of golf every week?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but I know it's not cheap.
I don't know. Does anybody know what that price is? I would like to know because I don't.
It depends if it's like one of those clubs or a country club or just an open course. You could, depending on the hobby, you can sink some serious dough in golf.
Yeah, even RC planes, stuff like that. That stuff's not cheap. And so
Dji Drone is $1,500 to $2,500.
Yeah, I bought one of those.
I do too.
I have one too. Because when you can't find those heavy winds, I still want to see what it looks like from up above.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're fun. I remember bad apples. I was driving the dogs nuts.
You have a paramotor cover.
The good cover's not cheap. Still a couple $100.
Yeah, I've got the one with I can't remember which one I got. It's got like a skull in the back and in the center. It's a nice one.
Is it blue?
No, it's black. and
I
it's
got a heavy
handmade.
duty one that came with mine used. I don't know who makes it. I've never seen it for sale anywhere, but it's a really heavy duty tarp fabric.
Yeah. Hey, Walter's in the house. From
What's up,
Australia.
Walter?
That's pretty cool how you put that list out there, Will.
Yeah, that is pretty
That
interesting.
really puts in perspective. My gosh.
And I'm going to say something real quick too, because if you are that person that's just getting into this and you're like, I'm not going to get a Segway. What is that? A flight suit? I don't need no GoPros or heated gloves. I bet you anything, or I bet you anything in a year, you're going to look back at this and go, yeah, maybe you're right.
Uh-huh.
I even got my matching shoes.
You'll be flying with your buddies, like I said, and you're gonna see something that's just like, if I just had
Should we
that,
put
it would make my life perfect.
should we put domain names on here for Sean?
No, you
Oh
get
my
those
God. Yeah, I got a couple of domain names.
Oh,
But,
that's cool. That's real. I learned a lot tonight. I learn a lot every Monday, you know, but every show, all the shows that I watch. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That really breaks it down.
Hey, Will, can you scroll down real quick? Let's go ahead and go through this real quick for the people that are listening to the podcast and can't see what's on the show.
Yeah, in case they have questions.
So, real quick, Will, can you go through what you have here and what you come up with for the people that are listening to the show instead of watching it?
Yeah, and this was a collective. We kind of put our heads together and came up with what it costs to paramotor, from the training to the equipment, everything. So the first column is the low cost that we came up with, and that came up to $13,500.
And can you share what we have on the actual list as far as?
Oh, sure. So do you want me to
Yeah, sure.
line by line?
Please.
Okay, so training is $1,500. This is the low side. Paramotor is $7,000. Wing is $3,000. Helmet with comms $250. Radio $70. Radio pouch $20. The paragliding Bible $60. Heated gloves $50. Glasses $20. GoPro $220. Flight suit $65. Reserve $600.
That's really low right there, 600.
For reserve, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that too low?
That's a good low, but
too low.
But you want to go and put 1,200 on the high side for the reserve, because mine was 1,200 because it's steerable.
1,200,000.
Not that much.
It's made of gold.
Wow.
Not working for me tonight or something. There we go. Okay. The Garmin Watch, which is something I use all the time for navigation and keeping track of time, $350. Segway $400. Anemometer $30. Kiting harness $100. Windsock nothing, because you can make your own. Matching shoes $5. I guess that's Dollar General or 7-Eleven or whatever.
And when you say matching shoes, you want the color of the wings to match your shoes. That's what you're talking about, right?
The color of the shoes to match your wing.
Exactly.
Yep. And and you want me to go on the high side, or?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and figure out. So that ended up to be what? $13,740.
Yes.
Okay.
Low side.
And then the high side for training, I think that I think it's closer to 3,500, right? I mean,
4.
Yeah.
Brian
Tom
said
said the high was 4,500.
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't doubt that, but I don't know where it is. So
All
should
right.
I change that or leave it the same?
Well, we know it's
Aviator's
3,600.
Like 3850.
What is it?
3850.
Okay, 3,850 for
Aviator.
mhm.
Okay. Paramotor 9,000. Does that sound about right on the high side?
Yeah. That's a lot of bells and whistles, I think, and nice paramotor.
Okay. Wing.
Wing, I think we could adjust that.
You need to go up to at least 4,500 because I bought one of my wings for 4,500.
For a beginner though?
Well, just for the high side of buying a wing, and that's a beginner intermediate wing.
Okay.
Actually, I think, yeah, so go 4,500, I think it was.
Okay. Helmet with comms, 1349. Radio 300. Could actually spend more than that, but I mean, you can get a nice radio for 300. Radio pouch 50.
Now, when you say radio pouch, are you talking about just a little pouch on the side to put my radio?
Yes.
Like chest harness.
Yeah, or it could be a chest harness. This is the one that I use. And
Can you describe it for the people that are listening?
Sure. It's it was $20 and it's Coaxsher, Coaxsher. $20. It's got a place for 2 radios and a place for your phone, a couple extra little pouches for odds and ends. And then it's got a huge center pouch that button snaps and zips if you need it to, which is plenty of room for, gosh, I don't know. It's like a freaking purse. I got everything in here.
So let me ask the chat real quick. Has anybody used a radio pouch? I think that Will does. Does Brian? JP does. I do
have
not.
one. I don't use it all the time, but it stays strapped to my harness because it's actually made by Jin. It's a radio pouch, and it's also got a hook knife built into the flap of the pouch.
Okay.
That I can pull out and use the knife if I ever got into a pinch. It was like $18. So
yeah, they're not expensive.
My reserve has a Velcro front mount, so everything I have that I need is either on my chest mount or on my reserve flight deck.
Nice.
Well, yeah, top end reserve. So yeah, I spent a little bit.
You're on the Beamer steerable, you said?
Yeah, the 130 Beamer.
So we were, where did we leave off? The reserve?
Radio pouch.
Okay, radio pouch.
So.
Oh yeah, $50.
Right.
The Bible's $60, stays the same. Heated gloves, $250.
Has anybody spent more than $250 for heated gloves yet? That is about the high side, you think?
Yeah, because
I've seen some really nice high-end motorcycle ones, and they're right at $299.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the liners, those thin liners, from Canada or whatever, I think they're around $250.
I got a preset in the mail. Hey,
Power in Motion.
Josh, are you the one that did that thing on Reddit about overvolting?
The overvolted? Yeah, that's me.
That was you? Oh, are we off?
No, we're live. Easy. Easy, buddy.
I saw that post and I wanted to run something by you. The gloves that I was sent, they look like your typical heated gloves, but instead of 1 battery pack, it's literally 2 battery packs. And I think they might be very similar to what you designed in that post you made. Okay. I'm not sure if they're in parallel or in series though. And I'm tempted to put those new batteries I got in my old gloves.
So it's 2 batteries per glove?
Yeah, they're connected together. I'll have to I'll go grab them right now. Carry on. I'll be back.
Someone wanted to send me a pair of heated gloves to review, and I didn't do it.
Did they contact you too? They contacted me through Instagram. Will it seemed super shady, but it was on point. She PayPal'd me money and to order them on Amazon, which I still think is super weird. Yeah. But everything checks out on it. She just asked me to do a review on them, which I just did this weekend. So send me her info. Maybe it's the same person. If it is,
all right,
give you the thumbs up. But I'll be right back. Let me grab those batteries.
Check your bank account though, dude.
It's not through the bank account though.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. That's funny, but yeah, really, huh?
So now where did we leave off?
Glasses,
$100. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on glasses. GoPro, $400. That's reasonable. Flight suit. I paid. I want to say I paid $279 for my flight suit.
That's what I paid for mine.
And when we say flight suit, we can also mean we bought, under, warm weather gear of some sort underneath our regular clothes or something. So we can say,
Like a snowmobile suit.
yeah, or
Yeah.
that thermal underwear or the heated, undersuit.
I got a question on the glasses. Is that safety glasses or is that sunglasses? What is like you have to wear like
Ray-Ban.
regulated glasses when you're flying? I have no idea.
Aviator style, Ray-Ban, the cool looking ones. No, just whatever you wear, just whatever you wear.
Oh.
Because during the winter here too, because it's so bright, I do like to use the ski mask. So, I do wear the ski mask for winter. And
Oh, the balaclava.
whatever the name is.
Yeah, the balaclava. All right, so the reserve is 1,200, Garmin Watch 500. And by the way, you don't need the extra expensive Phoenix, whatever they're up to now. One of the lower, like the Garmin Phoenix 5, I think. It'll run the program called StuFly, which is awesome and it's free.
What actually do you use that watch for, Will? Use it for navigation or altimeter or what?
I use it. It can be used for, pretty detailed navigation, but I'm mostly, before I fly, I just open the StuFly app and it knows when I've taken off. It can tell.
So you're using it to log.
It keeps track of everything, and it keeps.
Can I post a link in the chat, or will it be like? Can I post
Yeah.
a link in the chat, or will it be?
Sure.
So JP, I have a Garmin watch as well, and I use it to track all my flights. I just posted a link to one of my activities in the chat. You can kind of click on it, and then you can review all of the data that it logs.
Yeah, and it logs a lot, but I try to keep it really simple when I'm flying. So at any point I can look at my watch and it's got an arrow pointing back to where I took off from. Just real simple stuff, So because I don't like to do math in the cockpit as much as possible.
Right.
So where did you put this, Josh?
In the link.
In the chat.
In the YouTube chat or in the Zoom chat?
YouTube chat.
I don't see it.
I don't either.
You didn't put it there.
Ooh,
right on top of Walter's and Bill H's message. Here, let me see if I can put it in the Zoom chat.
Bill
Linda
H.
Darling.
GPS.
It's in the Zoom chat for you.
So the flight suit is
While we're
pretty
waiting
much
for
the
that
same
to
as the
show up.
paramotors and paragliders wear.
What?
What did you say, Linda?
The flight suit, is that pretty much the same that where the paramotors wear and the free flying guys wear? Like, is it important to have a good flight suit, or that's just something that's a little extra that you want to buy?
Well,
keep you warm.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. I mean, it's not safe to be flying when you're uncomfortable, because it's easier to make mistakes and kind of rush through things. And so, to me, it's indispensable.
Is the flight suit like a jumpsuit kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I still see a lot of, the paramotor guys just flying, just in the summer, especially just in shorts and, and their boots or whatever, their shoes. And
for everybody that doesn't live in Florida, we got to keep warm.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder about that, because not everybody, obviously not everybody wears the flight suits, right?
Yeah. Well, and we don't either in the summer. I mean, just
that's just okay. So you're just talking winter.
Yeah.
Flight suit.
Or cold weather flying.
I gotcha. Okay.
So the anemometer, $30, kiting harness, $250, windsock, $100. Now these you can spend more than that on a windsock. Yeah. Matching shoes, $250, and from that we came up to nearly $23,000. That's the high side of things.
Wondering if we should add spare prop to that.
I had one. I needed one.
Oh yeah, I think that's more important anyway because not only do I have a couple of spares, but I also bought a three prop blade and don't use that a lot because of the harmonics. But yeah, I got a couple of
Is it a
different
lot
ones.
louder?
There's a weird harmonics when you have a three blade prop. It kind of goes womp womp womp, and you can hear it. It's like having the windows down just right where you hear the thump 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 thump
Oh yeah.
driving. It kind of feels the same way when you're flying. It just has that weird harmonics. And I thought, well, maybe it's just me, but it seems like a lot of people that fly three blade props have the same weird harmonics. If anybody's in the chat that has a three blade prop that hears that weird harmonics, let me know what you think that actually is. All right,
Here,
what you
Link.
guys going on, Will?
All right, so the spare prop then 295. That's probably about right for a wood prop, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
And 395 for a carbon fiber.
yeah, for a basic like Helix or E-prop, right?
Okay, so that's how we came up with that number. But the interesting column is what could you fly bare minimum with, and that's just down to the training, paramotor, and the wing, and helmet. Let's see, helmet with comms and the paragliding Bible, which comes up to about $7,000. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, man, it's totally doable.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, you start off with that $1,000 and that $7,000, and then you break a prop, or you go. Your buddy say, "Hey, come to this airport, but you need to have airband because it's in Bravo or Charlie or something, right?" So
Mhm.
Can I borrow the screen real quick, Will?
Yeah, let me stop.
You can have it right back. I want to show this to Josh. I put a link to the gloves I got in the chat too. It's an Amazon link.
Okay, the Sabbath heat.
Yeah, and how do whoops. I guess I didn't need to ask you to stop on the screen share.
I did.
No, I didn't need you to
Oh,
do
you
that.
didn't need me to?
No, I needed to close my virtual background. Yeah, I'm gonna do none just so I can show you these real quick. This is
That's the same battery, man.
Yeah, no, that's what's in these right here.
Okay.
But then these come with this, which I don't know how well you can see that.
oh, I see the double pouch. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
does look like a double.
the battery. It's the same shape right here,
Right.
but there's two of them. So it's like
Is
they're
there a sticker on
wired.
it that says what the voltage is or anything?
There's like a padding over it, and I kind of don't want to. It's this neoprene soft material.
You have a voltmeter? Can you measure the voltage out of it?
Yeah, I guess I could do that. There's some sketchy instructions about being super careful about if you
Yeah, don't short it.
yeah, you can short it out if you're not careful. So
Yeah, if you got
but
an old
yeah.
headphone jack or something that'll plug into that,
Yeah.
use it like a pair of pigtails.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll have to do
Is
that.
it oh man, it is the same one.
What's that? Is
It
it?
looks like it.
Yeah. Initials LJ.
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I just had her email up. Let me double check that, but
It's gotta be, those gloves are the exact same ones.
I don't know why they're doing that the way they're doing it.
Well, I'm sure they want honest reviews, but they want, I guess, I don't know. Review.
LJ, no, not LJ.
Well,
Was it just on Instagram that they contacted you?
she contacted me on Messenger.
Messenger?
Yeah, I'll send you what I got.
Yeah, we'll
It's
talk
the
about
same
it later.
exact thing.
Okay.
And looking at the ad, I don't see anything that says what the voltage
Voltages.
is. There's a link to a special offer for the Sabbath
Something-
battery, and it says, "Oh, here they are." So yeah, the same exact batteries are for sale on Amazon. Just Sabbath Heat rechargeable, 7.4 volt, 3000 milliamp.
I will
And
say that the time it takes them to heat up is mind blowing. Like it's literally about 3 seconds that it goes from completely cold to relatively warm. It goes from 2 to 3 seconds. They heat up quick. I was very impressed by how fast. And that's what leads me to believe that I think they must be 14 volts.
it says they're 7.4 volt.
Does it really? I
Yeah.
don't know how on the box it said something about carbon nanotubes heating technology or something, and it made
What
me
about the
giggle, but
fingers? Does
they
it
really do.
does it
Yeah.
heat the fingers?
I would say it's concentrated on the back of the palm, but it does heat up the fingers as well.
So on my research with heated gloves, everything that says they have carbon, some sort, nanotubes, Kevlar, whatever it is, it's just a heated cloth element. It's basically made of carbon. It's like a strip of carbon cloth, and it's weaved throughout the glove, and you apply voltage to that, and it heats up.
Okay,
So it's pretty much the same amongst all the gloves. It's just the pattern of the stitching that they did it, and where they put the actual where they ran the Kevlar cloth, whether it's up and down the fingers, the fronts, the backs, the sides, or the back of the hand.
Yeah, in short, I'm for the money, less than $100. I couldn't be much happier with them. They get really hot, like hot enough to really burn you. I would say like uncomfortable. I don't know if it'll burn you, but it's uncomfortably hot just sitting here in the living room on high. I took them for a flight.
How long do they last?
I don't know about that. I haven't tested that yet.
So the only drawback about doing the battery mod that I did is
for a flight, and it
batteries.
was 40, 50 degrees. What?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What was I saying? I flew the other day and it was like 40, 50 degrees, and they have 4 heat settings, and I had the coldest heat setting, and it was still too warm. Even at 3,000 feet. Yeah, it was they heat really well. I can't imagine a scenario where they aren't going to be warm enough, so I'm really happy with them. You were saying the downside of the mod you did was you can over discharge them accidentally, right?
You can over discharge them, and the battery is twice the size and half the milliamp hours. So
right, because it's a 4-cell versus a 2.
It's a 3-cell versus a 2, but
3-cell versus a 2, yeah.
The 3-cell that comes out just like 11.1 volts or something, and I know the switch in mine's good up to 16 volts, so I wouldn't want to push them any more than that.
Okay.
But yeah, that looks like the same. I'm looking at the replacement batteries for the sub-out heat on Amazon right now, and it says they're 7.4 volts. So I assume it's the same battery, just probably in parallel in there to increase capacity.
Right. Huh. Very interesting.
But okay. Well, good.
All right, so what do we think? Lowest is going to be $7,000 for everything. The highest could be up into the 20,000, and that's if you don't get like a retractor trike
and a one wheel.
Exactly. So, anybody have any questions? Was there any questions in the chat? I've been standing up trying to stretch my back out, so I haven't looked in the chat. And any questions in the chat or anything you guys wanted to discuss? I really thought that this was just going to be an hour show, but here we are.
Yeah, I gotta head out here in a minute. We're winding things down here. Dexterity. Mark H wants to know about dexterity. I will say that for me, I ordered a size smaller than what the guide said to, just because I know from experience that I don't know. I guess I have short fingers, and I got the smallest ones possible, and they fit really tight, which I feel like it's important to fit really tight so that dexterity is still there and I can still do all my buckles and everything. I think properly sizing them is as important to dexterity as anything else, and So yeah, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, they're not clumsy. They fit really, really well. So
I've had
yeah.
experience with some of those gloves. They're made for I guess Asian hands, which tend to be a little smaller.
Okay.
So that's interesting that you ordered a size smaller than you would normally.
Well, and I was emailing her, and she actually recommended a larger size, and I was like, I don't know, I'm pretty familiar. I actually sent her a picture of my hand next to a tape measure, and she was like, "Oh yeah, get the ones that you mentioned." Because I think the width of your hand is one measurement, but then the length of your fingers is another, and they'll stretch a little bit, I guess. But your fingers, the palm area can stretch, but the finger area can't shrink. And for me, it's really important to not have the finger area be too long, because then you lose that, that being able to
Stop, JP. Stop, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Too much material.
Hey, Wiggy in the chat, Wiggy Wing says he has those gloves and he loves them. So
cool. Right on. Yeah, it was a good show tonight. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Flew by.
Hey, Resurgence in the chat says, "Will Fly, don't you have Asian size hands?"
Man, look at these hands. Where are they?
Where are my hands?
Very good.
Oh, what do you call those? The mimes when they do this? Shadow of the mime.
Yeah. Resurgence says the most expensive training is 4,500. I think that's what did you have on your spreadsheet, Will?
3,800. I guess that was Aviator.
Who is 4,500?
I don't know. I asked him.
Okay.
And Nick Griffith says the Gen gloves are $375. Super nice. Well, they should be super nice for $375.
They should do your dishes for $300.
Dang right. Yeah, but I bet they're nice. And yeah, okay. Plainfield PPG, and he's right. The GoPro,
So I found
cheap knockoff for $60. You can. It's not going to have the stabilization that the GoPro has, but hey.
So guess who's got the school that's charging 4,500? I found it. Guess who it is?
Is it in the U.S.?
It's Super.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I had to say. Yeah. All right.
Makes perfect.
Yeah, 4,500. They have a whole breakdown of everything. So they got 4,500 training, flap top coming in at $8,000, harness 200, reserve 1,100, Dominator 3,800, stuff sack 99. Then they give you a $2,000 discount for training, I guess, when you buy all that gear.
That's nice.
And then shipping, $500 for shipping.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Super training.
Okay. I did not know.
Yeah, I didn't either. And the funny thing is that didn't even cross my mind. And so, yeah.
All right. Well, anybody have anything that they wanted to say? This is the last show of the season. The next time that we go and do a live show, it's going to be 2022 and our third season of ClearProp TV and PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. Anybody have anything that they want to say before we head on out? I mean, it's almost 9 o'clock. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, I do. I want to say that it has just been a freaking awesome blessing to be able to hang out with you guys this year, and made a lot of new friends. And man, if I didn't fly a paramotor, I'd still be happy with what I got right here. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Well said, Will. Well said.
I definitely second that. Definitely second that. That's
I
awesome.
third that.
Absolutely. The flying is fun, but the people are funner. The flying is good. The people are better. How about that?
I like the
Which-
funner part.
Which, like I said, for the most part the community is good, but our little community here is top-notch people. I couldn't be happier with the people in our little group here. So I love you guys, with all my heart. And that's why these talks that we have, especially about safety, they really mean a lot to me, because you guys mean a lot to me. And I'm gonna stop right there before I get any more mushier. But fly safe up there, guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right on.
That's good mush. I like good mush though.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've been doing this almost every single Monday night for the last 2 years, and I've really had a great time. Met a ton of people. I look forward to Monday just so we can sit here and talk about paramotors, because most people, we don't get to do this. I mean, we got a live chat. You guys can talk. You can talk to each other. You can ask us questions. We can ask you questions. And we can get a lot of people in here. So I really appreciate everybody that joins us and everybody that hangs out with us, everybody on the panel. You guys are definitely the best. And I can't imagine what season 3 is going to be like for us. I'm very excited. So, and once again,
like, Robert's going to jump on for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I told him to come. I told him that.
Robert who?
By. I know.
Robert who?
Robert Michaels of Paraglidingtalk.com.
Well, I see that Robert Michaels has joined us. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you.
In the flesh.
What up?
What's up, man?
Mama, that's why.
You guys can hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
I don't have the good microphone out. I was playing around in the garage.
I know. I missed that. Without that microphone, like right up here, it's like, who are you? That's part of your ensemble is the microphone. Paraglidingtalk.com.
That's right. I blew up a prop, so I was in the garage trying to create a mold for the new one.
Oh,
we were just talking about nickel and dime of paramotoring. All little costs.
Yeah, if you completely blew up the prop like I did, you can't salvage it. I don't think it's salvageable, but since I bought new ones, I might as well make a mold.
Yeah. Now's the time. Now's the time.
Yeah.
What are you blow up an entire prop?
Well, no, it's not an entire prop. It's probably about 3 inches. I don't know. It might be rebuildable.
You run Helix or E-props or
E-prop.
Right on.
I got a package from I think it's from my mom.
Oh, he's gonna open it live on TV.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. What is this?
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
What is that I see in your hand, sir?
Merry Christmas. Yay! Got it.
So for our viewers that are not viewing, that are listening to us, what did you just show us, Mr. Robert Michaels?
Okay, so I got it's a calendar. Oh, this is awesome, man. This is a PPG Zone calendar, 2021, 2022 PPG. And it says, just read this. It says, Robert,
made the calendars, Robert.
I'm gonna read. Excuse me. Robert, we greatly appreciate your business. Truly hope your service is great. We would greatly appreciate a 5-star review. Oh, I thought this was like a personal thing. You can connect with us through Facebook, Instagram deals. Cool, man. Clear Prop TV. Sincerely, Jim. And there's a little thing to scan. And this is a sticker. Sweet.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Thank you.
You finally got it. It took like forever. It seemed like.
Jim's usually on top of that stuff.
I know. I wish Jim was here tonight. Dang it.
I know.
Super excited.
Where did
I got got to message him now and let him know that Robert got his calendar. So.
Yeah, the whole world does know now.
Yeah.
Right.
What a
Yeah.
freaking surprise to have Robert Michaels on our show. I didn't know
Right?
you had an
I
end with
know.
Robert Michaels, Paramount.
Well, it took stealing his mom and 2
She's
years
always-
of doing a podcast to have him
She's
come
always
on
talking
here.
about how she knows this guy. I didn't think that they actually knew each other, you know?
I know, one in California, one in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I love
Right
it.
on.
Cool.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
I'm stoked. I ran out my last month, December, with I had the calendar from from Motown, from the Flying
Oh.
Circus.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a
Are you going
calendar
this year?
too. I may go. I'm planning on going to Salton Sea. It's a tall order to do both, but who knows? Something could happen.
Sweet. I'm driving out from Missouri to go to Salton and then Flying Circus right after.
Right on. We'll
me,
have to connect.
me and Hot Buttered Steve.
Dude, that's awesome. Josh Perry. I would love to meet Josh Perry at Salton Sea.
No, you wouldn't. He's a terrible guy. I hate that guy.
Dude, seriously, man, I'm stoked. I don't know
No,
if
it'll
I'm
be
gonna.
fun.
I think if we're live on the air.
Yeah.
I think I want to crash the Flying Circus. Not crash at, but like just fly in from like somewhere nearby. I'll radio in and make sure that it's okay to fly in, and then just come fly in and land in there, and just poach
You'd be like
the
a
flying.
celebrity.
Show up unannounced.
Yeah, because it's pretty expensive. It's like 150
Yeah.
bucks. But if I could come fly in and just poach it,
Yeah, Hot Buttered Steve and I were actually looking at the prices last night. It's 150 bucks for the trail to bring an RV in, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
General admission still pretty
it's
cheap or free?
just a notch under that. I think it's like $100 or something.
All right. Well,
Worth
there you go,
every
Steve.
penny. Until I get Mo on the show, and then I'll just beg him for a free ticket.
There you go.
Well, Flying Circus,
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I didn't think that was like family friendly. I
Oh,
thought it
just
was like
because-
super wild.
Just because they have flamethrowers, guns,
Yeah, cannons.
cannons.
I think it's pretty much anything goes at Flying Circus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Planes dropping money.
yeah, yeah. It's
Sounds like a great time, to be honest.
It does. Absolutely.
It's like America all just wrapped into one event.
Yeah,
Concentrated
go.
into a few days.
Yeah, it's like all things flying, high
We'll be like,
power
"Oh my
rifles.
God."
I,
I
can
think
bring
they
my
bring,
BB gun.
yeah, bring automatic weapons.
I think so. They get crazy over there.
It's time to eat. Okay.
Well, looks like Eric Lear's finally showed up. You're a little late, buddy.
Yep. Well, guys, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go get
Thanks,
some food.
Robert.
All righty.
you
Yeah, I
guys
gotta head
for,
out too.
Having me on. You guys are awesome.
Hey,
Thanks,
thanks for
JP.
stopping by.
Have a good one, and we'll see you next year, buddy.
Hey, real
Yeah.
quick, Robert,
Yes, sir.
real quick, can we grab a thumbnail?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We got
Oh.
everyone here.
Wait. Okay.
Hold on. Let me
All
fix my
righty.
hair.
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you for
All
getting that.
right.
JP.
Happy New Year.
Cool.
All right,
Happy
guys,
New
I gotta
Year.
head out
guys.
too.
Love you,
Happy
Robert.
New Year. Love
Night,
you, Mom.
guys.
See you
guys.
guys.
Later.
All right. I guess we'll just wrap up the show since everybody's leaving. This
That
is the
made
last.
my night.
What's that?
I said that made my night.
I know, that was so awesome. I'm really glad he was able to come on, and thank you. Is that my Christmas present? Robert
Yeah.
Michaels coming on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Was a great
I
Christmas
told him we
present.
had a good topic tonight and everything, so I just sent him the link. I said, hey, if you want to, come on.
I was just about to ask him how much did it cost to get into free flying, because that's a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get him back. We'll have to get him back here.
So, and that's something we haven't put up there too. It's like you can free flight first before you paramotor. You don't need to go buy a motor. So,
and it'd probably make you a better paramotor pilot too.
so there's something for you too.
Yep.
You can
Yep,
go
there you
free
go.
flying.
There you go.
So yeah, I guess if you want to get into it really super cheap, look into paragliding.
And if you want to get in it really, really cheap, you can like hang your head out the window while you're flying. I mean, while you're driving, you know, just kind of.
I think the cheapest flight, the cheapest flight that I had before I got into paramotoring was droning, live, live view. You know, I got a 4K camera on there, and you can fly anywhere you want to, and you're watching on your goggles on VR. I think that's my first flying before I got into paramotoring.
I did the same thing, Sean. I didn't do the VR stuff, but I did the droning first, and then. So I wonder how many paramotor pilots started with a drone.
Love you guys
JP
tonight.
did?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. No. Sorry guys, you gotta run. I'll catch you next time.
See.
Later, JP.
All right.
Have a good one, buddy.
Be good.
Appreciate you, buddy. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you all next year?
Next year.
January 3rd is our next show, and then January 10th, we're going to have Jack Burton on our show.
Awesome.
January 10th. So far, so good. January 3rd, or who knows? You never
Absolutely.
know.
So our January 3rd, if we don't have a guest, we're going to be talking about something. So everyone that's in the chat right now, what are some suggestions for next week, which is going to be season 3 in 2022 on clearproptv.com? What are some good topics we can talk about?
New Year's resolutions.
And how we are not going to be getting them done by the end of the week.
Well, I think we're making paramotor related.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that true? I mean, it's like New Year's comes around, and by the end of that weekend, you're like, screw it. I'm not going to go to the gym. I want my money back.
Yeah, we got some goals a little lower there, buddy.
Take that money and buy another
goals.
Exactly. Well, let's go ahead and say goodbye to everybody, and we'll chat for just a couple minutes, and then we'll go to bed because my back has been hurting me really bad. I got old man back.
Not the old man back.
All day long, students yesterday, so I was like wore out. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and it's 9 o'clock already. I cannot believe that we've been chatting and talked to you guys. Hope you guys had very happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything that's out there. We love you guys. And New Year's is coming around, so hopefully the coronavirus will be gone on New Year's Day. We'll never have to hear about that ever again, and we get to go out and fly every single day because now everybody has a job that's called flying paramotors. Hey, I'm wishing for it. I mean, it's the new year coming up. That's what I want. Any words of wisdom, Mr. Josh Perry, and where can we find you on that awesome website?
You can always find me at pbgzone.com. Send me a private message on there if you need to get a hold of me, or there's a contact form at the bottom with my email. Just click on it and shoot me an email. But that's pretty much the only way to find me. Come and check us out on paramotordiscord.com. If you're on the computer all the time, we're sitting here chatting away about anything and everything paramotor all day, every day, between downtime at our 9 to 5. So come hang out with us, and that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Josh. Definitely appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
And Paramount USA, Linda Anderson, thank you so much for bringing on your son. That was really awesome. I was very surprised, and I wish I was able to ask him a question before he jumped off.
Yeah.
So
he loves it. Yeah.
You might have to ask him, how much did it cost for him to get into paragliding and get back with us? Okay,
I will. I'll make some notes. Yes, I'm going to interview him. So, how long? Yes, I will ask him.
Right, and he has a podcast too. What is his podcast all about?
Thursday night, paraglidingtalk.com, and we always have some fun guests on there. Last week was Kyle Lowe, and you never know who's going to pop in, during the show, just like our show. You never know who's going to pop in. See what I did tonight, and join us on Thursday night. It's a good week. I love following everybody's show. I don't fly, but I support everybody.
It's so hard to keep up with everybody's show, then everybody's on Facebook, then everybody with their videos. It's a full-time job, and then
It is.
then you got to go to your full-time job.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, thank you very much, Linda Anderson, for being with us for these
Thank you for having me.
almost 2 years,
love
2
this.
seasons. That's awesome. And Will Fly, you've been with us for a little while too, haven't you, buddy?
Yeah, I think so. No, I mean, not as long as Linda, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm definitely glad that you are here. And how do we get up with you? And you make some videos every once in a while, and they seem to be quite popular.
Well, every once in a while. You can check me out on YouTube. I'm Will Fly or willflyppg.com. And fly safe and stay humble and have fun.
Absolutely. I had a really good year. Really good season. Been enjoying flying. I've met so many people with this podcast, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the podcast in the first place, was because I really did not know a lot of people, in the paramotor community. So I really kind of decided that I want to know people, so I want to do a podcast. And at that time, Anthony Novella decided that he was going to drop down a little bit. He didn't really put out a bunch. Still had our Paramotor Nation. And I listened to that other guy on Thursday nights. What was his name? Oh, she's not even listening to me. So,
Sorry. I had somebody message me.
I was just trying to get you to say Robert Michaels again. But
Robert Michaels, Paragliding Chalk.com.
Because he's been on the air for how many years now?
Oh, since 2017.
Yeah, so he's been out there a long time. And also too, Cloud-Based Mayhem. That's another podcast that I listen to. That's a really good one for paragliding, and it's just really good in general. So if you haven't checked out Cloud-Based Mayhem, definitely go over and check that out too.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed paramotoring. It was really nice this last year. I was able to quit my job and become a full-time paramotor instructor. Met a lot of awesome people, and it's really fun working with people, even though this newest student that we just got, he's older than me, but is about the size of Will.
Yeah, and he's foot launch.
And he's going to foot launch. It was his first day yesterday.
Right on.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Older than you? You say he's older than me, like
well,
my
yeah,
age,
I'm 53-ish or so.
Okay.
So, he could be, a little older than me, or in the 60s. I'm trying to not name names and say,
you're only as young as you
ages.
feel, or old as
But
you feel, whatever it is.
he is in awesome shape. I mean, he works with roofing and stuff like that. So I mean, he's in really good shape. But that one day, I think I kicked his butt. I don't care
right?
I don't care what kind of shape you're in. When you do 3 days back to back from morning to night, kiting a wing, you are going to feel it. And I think that's why my back hurts right now, because I can feel it, because I was setting up a lot. But anyway, yeah, I just love paramotoring, and I'm really glad that you guys are out there and you have been with us for such a long time, and hopefully you'll hang out with us this next season. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate you. Love you very much. Hope you had awesome holidays, and this next year, all your dreams come true. My name is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. We'll see you next year, next season.
Much love.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye, guys.